how how one community node and what the fuck? That's crazy, I did not know that. How one community node ended this smug artist's career, the scams, empty promises, and lies of Gomiwaan. Oh shit. So tutorial how to not end up like this person. Because I do lie sometimes and I scam my viewers. And
human ingenuity is what allows our species to overcome our biggest challenges through creativity and resourcefulness. It's what allowed our very distant ancestors to make the discovery of fire,
is audio fine?
And
okay,
it's what most recently gave us access to the forbidden skies, allowing us to fly. And while throughout history there are many different examples of these incredible discoveries, it is in my humble opinion that our best discovery yet is probably pastries. That's right. Whether that be a pain au chocolat, croissant, beignet, eclair, you name it, there are very few things that can compare. And while France is easily the best place in the world to get any type of pastry, its residents, more specifically over the last few years, would have to come face to face with this industry's biggest, darkest secret: industrial pastries, more notably the croissant. Now look, this was a big deal. When you're going to a bakery, the expectation is that you'd be receiving something made in-house in the morning, fresh, delivered right into your hands. These bakeries, though, were selling these pre-frozen pastries under the guise of them being fresh, without giving any indication or disclaimer that they're pre-frozen, essentially scamming you. I mean, this was scandalous. It even led to the creation of a new label that certifies that, hey, this bakery actually does everything by hand. We don't use frozen products. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't take a genius to understand this problem. Why would I pay the same exact price, sometimes even more, for something that is pre-frozen when I could just use that same money to buy something made fresh in the morning? For the consumer, this didn't make any damn sense. That's simple to understand, right? Well, apparently, to some artists these days, this concept cannot get through their thick skulls for some reason. And when I say artists, I'm talking specifically about Gomi.
Follows is crazy.
6 years ago and was well known in the vtuber community, all while being someone who very staunchly and publicly constantly opposed AI usage in art, calling out anyone who dared to use AI with their art or who faked the fact that they actually drew it. In fact, she would go even further and would draw an entire meme saying, maybe I make ugly drawings, but at least I don't use AI. And guess what? This post would go absolutely viral, but not because of the meme itself. It would go viral because of the very humiliating community note that would be attached to it.
Because she's using AI too?
Ounce of her reputation in one day. And that's without mentioning the 2 Google Docs that were written about her. Now look, I've made a lot of videos about people getting community noted on Twitter, okay? But this right here might be the most merciless one yet. This is why I figured we had to talk about it. Before we step into this, just know that you can use the code Mujin for 10% off anything on the gamersubs.gg website. And now, without further ado,
that's a really short intro.
So let's get one thing straight. Tracing has been a problem in the art community for many years, even before ChatGPT and other AI tools came out. The arts community consensus about tracing was that it was okay if you were trying to learn, but immoral if you were trying to make it seem like it was your own work.
Yeah.
And we didn't really need AI for that to be a problem. In fact, one could go back as recently as November 9th, 2025, when Hisashi Eguchi, one of the most well-renowned artists in Japan, would be exposed as having traced for, well, his entire fucking career.
That's
This guy's drawings were top of the game. You'd find them in exhibitions, you'd have companies hiring him to make posters out of them, and yet it turned out that the drawing he had made for the Chualine Culture Festival in 2025 was nothing more than him taking the picture of a woman on social media and just tracing over it. Quickly afterwards, people would start analyzing his past work, and it would turn out to not be an isolated incident. The guy has been doing this for his entire career, taking pictures all over the internet or by photographers and just claiming that it was something that came from his own head. This is very significant because even before the widespread use of AI, I could have very easily taken any of these images that he had taken, put them through some drawing filter, and made it seem like I drew it myself, okay? The inherent problem with tracing, or hell, you can call it just cheating, is that it's very easily detectable if it's done by an amateur, but very hard to prove if it's done by someone who actually knows how to draw. This has always been the case. And while
Yeah,
we
it's-
could,
it's-
to a
it's like
certain
on
extent,
spin, you know?
cross-reference images that were traced before AI, that is no longer the case, because just about anyone can just generate any image they want, and it would be a unique image, one that doesn't exist anywhere else. So even if someone does trace, you can't prove it by cross-referencing their illustration to the original image.
But,
you have to prove
okay,
it in
to add on this, from what I heard though, I mean, okay, it depends how much you trace, I guess, but like I know some artists, they like take pic of themselves for like position, and then they trace over like the general shape, and then they put their own spin for it. So it's a little bit mixed. To be fair, like I think what Mujin is trying to say is tracing everything, but here like it is very common to like even like Riot, when they make splash arts, they sometimes like put like some rioters in some position or something to pose, take picture, trace over general like shape, lightning. It's a really good reference, but I know what he means. He's mean like pretty much like make like this filters over, I guess. Yeah.
Ways, and that
Sorry.
typically requires a lot of effort, most notably, well, a Google Doc. This is where Gami comes in, an artist that has been active for the last 6 years and also happens to stream as a VTuber. She grew her following like, well, most artists would, drawing well-known VTubers and content creators, as well as participating in viral art trends. This would lead her to get followed by many of these VTubers that she drew, okay, some of them very big. And as an artist, if you get followed by some of these top guys, well, you get legitimized. People look at you and think, oh, well, if this person follows them, then they must be an actual real artist that does work on time, right? Gami would of course understand this, which would then lead her to open up her commissions. This is where VGen comes in, a website that gained huge prominence within the VTuber community but now pretty much exists for just about anyone. What makes it unique is that it doesn't support any sort of AI usage, doesn't sell user data, and doesn't display ads. It also happens to be very exclusive.
Let me tell you, VGen literally changed my life. Like, it is literally perfect, okay? Sure, they have quite a big cut. I think it's about 5 or 6%. Not sure, I don't remember exactly. But they have some cut. And then if you have like PayPal processing, then it's another cut. So in the end, I got like 10% less than what I would get from my commissions. But it's so safe. No one ever scammed me on it, and I took like 50 commissions, maybe. So it's like amazing, amazing, amazing. And I just cannot glorify VGen enough. It is quite pricey though, because everyone values themselves there, but oh my god, I love VGen, and thank you VGen for existing.
In order to create an account to sell things on the platform, you need a code. That referral code can only be acquired in one of 6.
Hello? Wait, oh my god, did you hear what I said last time? Anyways, I don't know what I said, but like VGen is so good, because like they did help me so much with commissions. Did you hear about this one or no? Oh, the entire time it was paused, you guys didn't hear anything. If so, I can repeat myself. Okay, so I will repeat myself again with this one, with this part. This access bullshit is like, it's kind of like scam. I mean, it works to reduce amount of spammers, but like every artist gets like in the beginning like 2 art like codes, and then every time they got 2 more. Like I have about 10 codes right now in my stash, and I do give them sometimes when I see like a cool artist in my TL. But like, it's bullshit. Like if a scammer wants to get this code, they will get the code, and it's very easy to get them. But it's still a little bit better than it used to be. But Yeah, it's very easy to get those codes.
different ways. But getting a code is only the first hurdle. After you actually create your account, you have to go through multiple criteria in order to get verified by an actual real human being that will make sure that you are legit. And guess who had an account on VGen? Gami. She'd be charging up to $60 for a basic colored sketch, $30 for a Twitch emote, and $150 for a square-sized image meant to be used as a profile picture on social media. These prices just
That's
so
quite a
happen to
lot.
be industry standard, okay? There's nothing crazy about them. Some people charge less.
I would say for profile pic it's quite a lot. For less is fine. But yeah, for profile pic it's a lot. But I'm no one to talk. I upcharge. Okay, not upcharge. I do have quite high prices, but I do deliver very polished products, yeah.
Some people charge more. But when you pay $150 for a profile picture, you're expecting to, get something made by a human being. That was what people thought they were getting. In fact, on January 28th, 2026, Gami would make sure to push this idea to her audience and anyone who might see this post on Twitter. She'd post this very simple meme saying, maybe I make ugly drawings, but at least I don't use AI. One of the replies to her post would be some really terrible AI slop. She'd make sure to reply to it with vomiting emojis. And here's the deal, right? This post for almost more than 20 days would have no community note. Gami would go on to continue posting art and living her life. She could have never expected that on February 18th, 2026, the user Ruru would quote tweet that meme she made about how she didn't use AI and would say, yeah, about that. Gami has been using AI in her workflow and selling commissions. Read.
That's crazy.
Linking a Google Doc.
Bro, how can you have audacity to post memes like this? But you in your consciousness, you're like, oh yeah, I do use AI, but bro, people really? Do they think sometimes? I don't think so.
It will be around 16 pages long, and I have to say, okay, look, I love these artist dramas because this Google Doc is, of course, very well formatted, as you would expect. We'll start off with disclaimer. Do not send hate to Gami. This is merely for informing potential supporters and commissioners of the dishonesty about her workflow, including generative AI. This document and Gami's accounts contain suggestive /NSFW content. Great, I'm gonna have a lot of fun censoring this video. So look, this document mentions something very important in the beginning. The reason why this is such a big deal is because this person, Gami, was charging money while using AI. This is very dishonest. When you're paying an artist money, you're hiring them for their talent, not for what some generative machine can make out of a million convoluted drawings.
Why does it sound like his voice is getting through a folder? Oh, I don't know. Is it? How am I? I'm good. What about you? Wait, let me double check.
That it stole off the internet. The next part here would be introduction. First things first, please read knowing Gami herself has admitted to using AI in her workflow. Back in December 30th, 2024, someone would DM her, Gami, are you using AI as reference for your art? To which she would reply, I do sometimes, yes, but I draw them again with my own two hands, lol. I don't like taking them as literal references. Okay, cool, I guess we're done. Why is there 17 pages here? This is it. What else do you want? Well, I guess we'll find out. The document continues, now with this in mind, I will show you why I think she wasn't only using references here and there, but one-to-one referencing or possibly tracing for a lot of her viral artworks. And also that she sells commissions using AI without disclosing it to this day. I will document her dated posts and artworks as well as conversations with her. This is where we get to the next section titled Documentation. Gami joined my Discord server around the start of October 2025. Shortly after, some of my members messaged me privately to warn me about her AI usage and her past drama, since I don't allow Gen AI in my server. I didn't want to assume things, so I took a good look at Gami's artworks and then decided it was best to ask her directly than to jump to conclusions. The messages are in Turkish, but you will have translations. Translations are in purple. Some parts are blurred due to privacy of third parties and to not bring back past drama that has already been settled. Alright, so here we can see Ruru asking in Turkish, 3 things were brought up to me, and the people who brought them up will remain anonymous to avoid creating any drama. I think they mentioned these issues because they became worried when they saw that you joined my server and they felt the need to warn me. So the first 2 issues are blurred, I guess they have nothing to do with this drama, and then the third one is, the last issue is the claim that you are tracing using AI. Of course, there's no proof of that, and proving it is almost...
What the fuck? happened on my chat? Like, where is this message? I shall quote some lines which shall trigger the ambition. Do not gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and brave at least of day. Rage against the dying of the light. Those wise and blah blah blah. What the fuck? I pray for your expedition, my tribe, blessed be soul. Farewell, bon voyage. Bro, I don't speak old English. I barely understand normal English. What the hell? Anyways.
Impossible these days. It's because both Clip Studio and Procreate have a feature to hide the reference layer when speed painting. I looked at your drawings a bit. Even though we follow each other, I'd never actually stalked your drawings before, and I personally found a few of your drawings suspicious, which is why I wanted to ask you. If you want, I can show you the reasons for my suspicions through the drawings, and we can discuss it in more detail. This is when Gomi would reply with, the AI tracing issue also arose because I was heavily referencing. I'm constantly sharing how I draw in the process anyway. I stopped referencing heavily quite a while ago. The document would continue. Since she claimed she stopped heavily referencing quite a while ago, I showed her some of her recent illustrations that I found suspicious. So in this drawing, we can see some sort of a puppy girl laying down on the bed, and the feet look very oddly suspicious, as if made by AI. Ruru also felt the need to mention that even to this day, this drawing remains the owner of her Patreon, right?
Thank you for following before leaving.
These feet
thank you.
Very AI-like, very suspicious. Ruru then say she deleted this art post after this conversation, but still uses it as her banner on Patreon.
Like, to be fair, like, it could be bad drawing, like, drawing toss is quite hard, but yeah, it looks quite weird.
I raised my concerns about how her anatomy knowledge and coloring skills didn't match. Some parts, like feet and hands, are drawn messily despite the rest having pretty good anatomy. This is common with AI tracers/users. Her art skills also suddenly spiked after some point. This led me to believe these art pieces weren't only referenced, but one-to-one or traced. So on the left, we can see a drawing made by Gomi on September 2024. And yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's decent. It's nothing like incredible, right? It's not something that will belong in the gallery
it's quite
anytime
good.
soon, but it is what it is. However, 3 months later, on December 2024, she would make a fan art of Yaklesh, a well-known artist and VTuber, and here we can truly see the incredible difference. This is progress that usually takes place over years, and there she was, just, you know, making it look easy, as if she just learned everything in 3 months.
Is quite crazy.
Example of a drawing that looks really good, but the fingers are just weird. Something that AI infamously does all the damn time. The document then continues. Artists will probably understand that the drawing above, now deleted, has pretty good anatomy overall, yet the same level of skill doesn't apply to the hand. This issue is common in her drawings. She also came to my server a couple times to share her screen while drawing to prove herself, but she never sketched something from scratch. It was always something that was already drawn and halfway colored. She then sent me a speed paint as proof, but the speed paint didn't have a sketch and she drew things mostly without guidelines.
Where is the sketch, bro? Where is the sketch? Like, every drawing needs a sketch, always. Like, oh my god, bro. God damn.
Drawing the lines for the legs without a guide and other similar things. It was not very convincing, as you can just hide the reference layer and pretend like you drew it. So that's another thing with tracers, right? The idea that they just draw things out of thin air, when even some of the best artists in the world will still use reference layers.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't immediately just draw a face and eyes like it's nothing. No, they'll actually take the time to reference where everything will be and then do that. I then showed her art on the right. God damn, I gotta censor that. Saying drawing something like this requires a lot of skill, and people who draw in color like she did on the left cannot draw like the right picture too at the same time. These two drawings are a few months apart despite there being a huge skill gap. So
yeah,
again,
for sure.
The same thing we saw in 2020.
For sure. Like this left to this right is I mean, the right one is like so polished, right? And it's like, but it has like completely different style. Like it's visible, they're completely different, yeah, for sure. Drawing stream when? I don't know, I need to start drawing every day a little bit to start like maybe getting better again.
In 2025. In August, She would draw something that clearly has bad anatomy, right, if we're talking about the elbow and the hand, as well as amateur-like coloring compared to the one on her right, which was posted just a few months later and looks insane. This is what you get after like drawing for 10 years, man. It's wild. And it's a shame that you can't really fully see it. Sorry, it's YouTube, not me.
Just link the post, bro. I'll see him on my own.
Show. And here we can see yet another conversation in Turkish between Ruru and Gomi taking place in October 2025 after Gomi had posted that very interesting drawing that I had to censor. Ruru would say, I repeat, this isn't about not being able to draw. That's why it's harder to distinguish when artists use it. But for example, when we go back in your gallery, there aren't any anatomy drawings like this or close to it. It's as if you suddenly drew it so well. Especially if you go back to before the year AI became widespread, the drawings look quite different. It might be one of the drawings you heavily referenced, as you said, it might be referenced from AI. To which Gomi would say, yes, I'm referencing AI. The document would continue, here she admits to referencing AI for her work again. She doesn't disclose this on her VGen or any of her socials. It's well known that using AI in any way isn't accepted by VGen. She also sells commissions there, meaning she has been and still is selling AI-assisted
Yeah, so it's broken TOS, so we can get immediately banned.
She had admitted to using AI for references. I asked to see the references she used to check for tracing. Here we can see Ruru saying, can I see the reference used for this image? Gomi would reply with, I don't save the photos, Ruru, sad face. To which Ruru would say, using a one-to-one reference isn't good either because it's not much different from tracing.
Yeah, exactly.
Gomi would say, I realized that too. After that, I completely removed that incident, which is referencing, from my life. Now I just pose in my head and use 3D models. Ruru would then say, it looks like you're regretting using heavy references. Gomi would say, no, seriously, being called AI really hurt my pride. Ruru says, if you take a one-to-one reference from AI, it's perfectly normal for people to say that it looks like AI because it becomes AI indirectly. That's when Gomi would say, I never thought of it that way because I drew it myself, but you're right. The document would continue and say she didn't have any references to show, and here she says she thought because she redrew the AI pictures, it still meant it was her own art. Despite all that, it looked like she regretted using AI in her workflow. But even after
this is formatted so well, by the way.
With AI hurt her pride, she still had drawings that were AI assisted posted on her socials like Twitter, VGen, and Patreon, of course undisclosed. I felt like she wasn't being honest. This is where we see their Discord conversation continuing, with Ruru asking, but if this situation upsets you and bothers you so much, why are these drawings still on your page? People who see them can just dismiss them as AI. Gomi would reply to this saying, I don't usually have a habit of deleting posts. Sad face. I generally post them and then forget they exist. But you're right, it will be good if
I forget that they exist, bro.
One of her arts and say, and for example, even though you said you stopped taking heavy references, a post of yours from May
blatant lie.
No-name fan art looks like it's referenced. Unless you decided to stop using AI 2 to 3 months ago or so, this post makes your claim about you quitting using AI not convincing, because you posted the AI referenced art for personal promotion. Gomi would reply and say, I talked to No Name about the situation too, I explained myself, I also apologized if it looked that way. Ruru would specify in the document in parentheses, she did not apologize, confirmed with No Name. Gomi would then say, and yes, I quit about 2 months ago, to which Ruru in the document in parentheses would say, which means she says she quit using AI in August.
Let me fill my bottle of water, but I'll also keep this watching.
I understand how it looks. I'll remove the images I heavily referenced. I don't want to look like an artist who uses AI. The document continues and says she then went to her profile and deleted some of her artwork on her Twitter, but she did not delete any from her VGen and Patreon, which should be prioritary since it's where clients look. So here you go. Under pressure, she decided to delete the very AI-inspired artworks from her Twitter, but not from the platforms where people pay her money to draw. So essentially, she did nothing to fix the situation.
Yep.
So Ruru in the document would continue with, she said she stopped. So why did I make this document? I wanted to trust her, so I let this matter go for a while, hoping for a good change. But recently, I came across some of her posts on my Twitter feed and wanted to check. I saw that her VGen still had verified commissions that had AI involved in the workflow in her portfolio, and she posted suspicious art again on her socials. She said she regretted using AI and did delete some of her most recent AI-assisted works from Twitter/X. She said she stopped in August 2025. But to this day, she still uses AI on some of her commissions in her VGen portfolio and still posts on her alt. She's also running a Patreon where she shares her NSFW art, which is also AI assisted. This is one of her most recent YCH commissions on VGen, September 19th, 2025. This was created long before August and has the same.
It's how it's pronounced, YCH? Oh my god, I always pronounce them like itch. Itch. That's how it pronounces in Polish. Itch. Like itchy. Itch.
Above, so I'm positive this is
YCH.
AI assisted. She deleted this YCH offer on VGen, yet still does commissions with this YCH to this day. So listen, just if you're curious, YCH means your character here, so they're custom commissions. One offer she had on her page was YCH elbow, right? So your character here with your character trying to touch their elbows. And you know, if someone with big boobs tries to touch their elbows, yeah, I think you get the point. This is why it's sensitive content. So here we'd see 3 different YCH arts.
Vignetta, thank you
I
for
have to
follow.
definitely censor that nipple, okay? I'm saying this just to remind myself when I edit. But overall, the whole point is that all 3 of these art
That's
pieces
crazy.
were done after August 2025.
Imagine if
and they're
forgets
very
about
heavily
one.
AI inspired.
Jeez.
Oh my god, I actually know this VTuber. This is Alien Mixture, man. The document continues. She was posting previews to gather her audience.
why
on Patreon.
Bruno
You
said
can see this
fucking-
also doesn't look
Oh
like
my
real
god.
art, so most likely AI
Mujin?
assisted. So here we
You're damn suspicious, bro. I know what you are. I know what you are. But did you ever have this thing where you're like, oh yeah, I know this character even though I never like played this game or watched this anime or like watched this movie or anyways, yeah.
We can see her posting on Twitter this sketch, right? 1 hour sketch, by the way. Saying remove the
1
pasties
hour
on Patreon.
sketch.
So if you go subscribe to her Patreon, you'll get to see this
Surely.
art fully nude. This was the appeal. And it's still up on her Patreon to this day, even after this document came out. The document would continue. She also posted that she at least doesn't use AI, with frequently posted anti-AI content as well. So here we can see the meme she made about how she doesn't use AI even though she makes ugly drawings. And we can see multiple different tweets she made targeting AI users, calling them out and saying things like, an artist with a trained eye can notice you tracing over AI. Just a heads up. If you can normally draw, why are you tracing AI? You look like a sore loser. This is AI and the artist is lying. Do not be
Bro.
deceived.
Wait, but like, do you not feel like own fucking like own brain? Did you not hear enough dramas? Like, man, like, you're basically saying this about yourself. Either she thinks she's completely different, she's doing completely different thing, or I don't know, bro.
Unless they show an actual time lapse, I'm not stupid and your sketch is not a sketch. Always the AI sloppers, even including a drawing of her character with the shirt saying, fuck AI. The document would then say, she made this time-lapse post while still using AI in her workflow. She planned to quit AI during August 2025, but this was posted on June 17th. Fuck AI, but still use it? So here we can see a 15-second time-lapse of this drawing. With
That's
her character saying, "Fuck
crazy.
AI on the shirt. And I mean, it's very, very clear here, right? That she's just drawing as if she's tracing. There's no reference whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no reference, there's no like building blocks. She's just straight up, like she starts drawing
Right,
from the fucking eye. Like, what do you mean? Who the fuck starts drawing from an eye, bro?
She's just drawing as if she's tracing. There's no reference whatsoever. It's like she's a genius that knows exactly where to place the eyes, the
Exactly,
mouth, everything, without
exactly.
making a single mistake, right? Without any hint that this is actually a real drawing, as if she's completely tracing an invisible layer here. Again, I really have to show you what an actual real time-lapse looks like, okay? I already used this example before in another video, and I'll do it again, all right? It's this drawing right here, and this is its time-lapse. So as you can see, it's a very messy process, right? Nothing is set in stone until the very, very end. Things are constantly moving, getting scaled, getting cut. This is what a real time-lapse looks like. And with Gomi's time-lapse, we're not seeing that at all. A day before posting that very interesting time-lapse on June 16th,
What the
she
fuck is
posts
this?
some
Oh, I think I know what's happening here, bro.
let's just say a cat girl sucking on something, right, on her alt account where she posted NSFW, and someone would just straight up reply and say, this is AI made, don't call it art.
It does. Okay, I don't want to insult anyone, but the colors kind of look weird, don't they? No?
The document would say, some
Like
people could already
a
recognize the AI and
guyish,
call her out sometimes. This is how my Discord members knew, because the Turkish community is small,
word spreads fast about dramas like this. She was already known to use AI in the Turkish community. This is when we get to the next section. I will now show the DM shown in the document's introduction. This is when I reached out to No Name. Gami had told me that she had apologized to No Name about the fan art she did for her that looked like AI. Here are her DMs with No Name. The character she was drawing has very, in all caps, big boobs, like F-cup big. She didn't seem inclined to change her sketch, using a weird excuse that doesn't make sense, possibly because the reference she's using had small breasts. No Name noticed how Gami's art quality didn't match her previous art and how she wasn't willing to do changes like boob size. These red flags led No Name to confront Gami, which then resulted in Gami admitting AI usage. This fan art was posted on the 29th of December 2024, now deleted. So even before the confrontation, right, this was December 27, 2024, Gami would send a sketch to No Name, and No Name would say, "Oh, Gami, what is your secret? How are you speeding like that? But Booba should be bigger." 3 days later, No Name would realize that, wait a second, this actually looks way better than Gami's usual drawings, and would ask the question, "Gami, are you using AI as reference for your art?" After Gami would admit that, No Name would say, "Make sure to use different references as well, otherwise you can accidentally train yourself doing the same mistakes AI does, LMAO." To which Gami would say, "I would rather slip on ice than do AI mistakes on my own human-made art. I would never, LMAO."
Bro, you're just like you're doing half of the work. It's just doing AI, bro. Like AI just does half of the work, yeah.
No Name was not informed until they asked. There isn't an apology as Gami claimed either. No Name does not support AI and states it publicly, so Gami made fan arts using AI for No Name knowing they're against it. That's why No Name asked if Gami was using AI, since they also found Gami's art suspicious and wanted to check with her. All the artwork that was done for No Name is now deleted from Gami's profile. So look, so far, this already looks pretty damn bad for Gami, alright? But this next section that we're about to look at is titled Artwork Comparison. And
wait, what? What happened to the video? Okay. What the fuck? It just zoomed out. What the hell? Sorry.
I think you can kind of tell what we're about to get into here. This is where the document takes an in-depth look at showing us what her art used to look like before AI and how much it differed after AI. I need to censor that nipple again, just saying that for editing purposes. I cannot forget this. Anyway, this section would start with why I think Gami isn't only referencing, but referencing one-to-one or possibly tracing to this day. We get 3 reasons. The first one would be her art skills without using AI are vastly different from AI-assisted ones. The second one, she doesn't have any proper art videos showing her sketch phase, and her streams usually start from already half-done art. And the third reason, she doesn't show any of the images she says she's referencing from, so it's likely traced or one-to-one.
Oh, true.
So here we can see that even after starting to reference art, she would still attempt to make her own art.
Man, like... What? Okay. Call me crazy? I like this one more. The one on the left. Then the one on the right. Yeah, they're both gunner bait. But this one looks like nicer. This one looks weird. It actually kind of looks like, no insult to anyone, it looks like 3D model that is rendered in Blender, but with AI shading. Like you can see the lighting, like the AI shade.
To maybe mix it
I really like this one actually on the left. Why would you start doing that? That looks like actually cool.
Assisted posts, but even then they were very noticeable, right? It's not like they just blended in effortlessly. Here's a drawing from November 19th, 2025, in which you can see a clear gap in skill compared to the one posted on December 1st, 2025, as if it was 2 different people. We already saw the second example with
That's also true. That's just like month difference. Not even month, like this is basically December.
As if it was 2 different people. We already saw the second example with fan art for Yoklash, but there will be way more examples here. I think the biggest difference here are the complex poses. She has a basic understanding of anatomy, but not complex enough to be able to draw something like this effortlessly. This is, of course, without us mentioning the incredible shading, right? The rendering here that is usually only seen with people who have been doing this for a very long time. What's even worse here is this comparison of these 2 drawings, which were both commissions on VGen, okay? Both of these were paid for. The first one, made in December 2024, looks to be somewhat her art style. It is a fairly simple drawing. The second one, though, made only 2 months afterwards, could have been AI assisted, most notably with the posing and the rendering, because it's not as flat as the first drawing. But worst of all, in all of this, is her deleted artworks. The document would say, after saying she was going to delete her heavy reference from AI artworks,
She did not do
deleted
that.
these art pieces from her Twitter. And yeah, if you're watching this with your own two eyes and not doing chores right now, you can very clearly see the massive, staggering difference between this kind of art style and the ones we just saw above that involved her using her actual own two hands without referencing AI. And also bear in mind, according to the document, this first image that we already saw earlier with the fucked up fingers was a paid commission. Someone paid money for this. Someone paid money for
I feel
Gomi to
bad.
generate an art piece using AI. This is when we get to the conclusion. I am positive that Gomi still uses AI
But yeah,
in
but
her work.
this is the first fucking, like, bro, this is the first doc. He said there's 2 docs, right? Can it get even worse?
Flow, despite saying she regrets it and that she quit in August 2025. As you can see the document, she was still posting AI assisted commission work on December 1st, 2025. I think the customers and her followers deserve to have transparency on her workflow. Not everyone wants to buy AI art or AI assisted art. I hope this becomes an opportunity for her to finally come clean and draw without using AI. Or if she continues using it, at least disclose it in her profiles and stop her activities on VGen where people come to buy human-made art. To Gomi, I was quite happy to have a Turkish artist friend and I really wanted to believe you. Since the Turkish art community is already constantly in chaos, it felt really nice to have someone to talk to. But as time passed by, I realized you weren't being honest with me or with yourself. I'm normally not a person who writes docs like these, but I felt secondhand responsibility about this since I'm also Turkish, from the same community. I really hope you can come clean. That's right. You can do anything you want in your life, guys, but never mess with a Turkish person's sense of identity and national pride. Otherwise, you're gonna have a Google Doc written about you.
That's true.
In any case, this document made things clear. Gomi was not the person she was claiming that she actually was. She was very clearly using AI to assist in her work and sometimes tracing it one-to-one. Hell, I think sometimes she would just post it without really tracing anything. I mean, this Shy Lily drawing is crazy, bro. Like, there's no way she actually drew that when she was drawing things like this barely a year before. But overall, of course, the biggest reason for this document having been made is because she was charging people money, both on Patreon and VGen, all while promising human-made art. This is not the case here at all. But Ruru wasn't done yet. On February 19th, just a day after that initial doc had dropped, they would reply to their
Ghosting,
quote tweet
hosting
and
raffle,
say,
but not
after this
bringing the
doc,
winner at
some people
Syria.
reached out to me to tell their experiences with Gomi, including ghosting, hosting raffles but not drawing the winner, etc. Read here. This leads us to the second Google Doc, in which people who actually hired her or worked with her exposed the terrible client-to-vendor relationships that they experienced, starting with the first section, rushed commission followed by ghosting. VTuber Mochi Mochi have commissioned Gomi on VGen after seeing her commission for another VTuber in September 2024. Mochi wanted a similar styled commission from her and commissioned Gomi, but the piece she received didn't look similar in style to what she asked for and seemed rushed. So she was asking for something that looked like this, right? The drawing on the left, something with that same style and type of rendering. What she got on the right, I mean, can you even call this a sketch? Like, this is incomplete as fuck.
Yeah,
also
it
barely
is.
looks anything like Mochi's character. Incomplete
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
as fuck. It also barely looks anything like Mochi's character. Mochi even bothered sketching what she wanted, how she wanted her character to look with her ears down. But this doesn't look like that at all. It looks like
What
some
the
sort
fuck?
of weird beanie. This is when Mochi would message Gomi on VGen, saying, I have a question about my surprise delivery. I ordered it based off the image I saw posted on your Twitter. When I went to see mine today, I was very unhappy about the quality. Is there a reason why the two photos are both so different in quality? I also noticed her bottom right thigh forgot to be colored and right below her thigh bracelet. And yes, that's true. I mean, this wasn't even colored, dude. Gomi would reply with, she had a very filled up design. That is why I had to pay more attention. My personal opinion is that I shaded yours more, but if you are unhappy with it, I can retouch on it later this week. This is when Mochi would say, I'm sorry, I feel like this piece was rushed and not
I
treated with the
couldn't.
same care. I circled the part of the thigh where it is missing color, it's just white. The Mochi and the ears also feel rushed. You can say you shaded mine more, but the thighs are not shaded at all. I'm just a bit upset because I was really looking forward to this piece. Thank you for offering to retouch it, I really appreciate it. The document will continue. Unfortunately, after this point, Gomi ghosted Mochi and the commission review period ended on
yes,
VGen.
classic.
Mochi didn't receive any touch-ups as promised or any updates. Mochi left a 1-star review. The document would also prove that Mochi
Oh.
actually paid for this commission.
That's a
$45
very
for an ink.
that's a very unfortunate time you're coming to the stream when I'm watching something like this.
complete sketch that doesn't even look passable. But I wish that's where it ended, because the next section features a giveaway winner that didn't get their art. The document would say, Gomi and a couple of other artists had made a studio called Mellow Studio back in 2023, June. Gomi was drawing,
don't worry,
someone else was rigging the art.
I think if you came 10 minutes earlier, it would be worse. But that's... but hi, hello. Hello to you too.
And they were offering VTuber assets, models, etc. Around January 2024, they created a chibi VTuber called Mellow Chibi. With Gomi's suggestion, they have made an art plus rig raffle for these chibi models to boost up their new product. Raffle was held on the 7th of January 2024. The winner didn't get their model for 10 months, so they decided to text on October 19th, 2024. The winner ended up not—
Yeah, bro, like, literally, where is it? Like, like literally second fucking ago, yeah? That's crazy.
Just curious, thank you so much. 5, the DM.
Wait, let me go back.
And they were offering VTuber assets, models, etc. Around January 2024,
hey, if it's on
they
YouTube,
created a
it's allowed
chibi
to
VTuber
Twitch
called
too.
Mellow Chibi. With Gomi's suggestion, they have made an art plus rig raffle for these chibi models to boost up their new product. Raffle was held on the 7th of January 2024. The winner didn't get their model for 10 months, so they decided to text on October 19th, 2024. The winner—
Okay, generally 10 months is not too bad for winning things, and yeah, I did struggle with my giveaway too, and I did, yeah.
ended up not getting their art. After 1 year, they also didn't even get a reply from Gomi. The rigger was very upset at Gomi for not providing the art since it was a collab raffle, so they stopped working with Gomi. Mellow Studio became inactive. The rigger also reached out to the winner. So here we can see the DMs between the winner and Gomi. They reached out in October after 10 months, and they were very polite, by the way. Hey, it's been a little bit, and I was wondering if this was still happening. If not, it's okay. I just wanted to know. Smiley face. Gomi would say, it will be happening. Yes, I have you in my calendar. I have picked back school, so I've been quite busy. The winner would say, oh, that's okay. Take your time. I was just curious. Thank you so much. 5 months later, in March 2025, the winner would reach out again saying, hello, I just wanted to check in. I in no way want to bother you. I'm just curious about when we expect to get started. I recently had a design update, so I just wanted to check in. Again, no rush at all. I know you said I was on your calendar. I'm just curious. So obviously, very unprofessional and unacceptable. And as the document would say, the rigger would end up reaching out to the winner on Twitter saying, yo, Gomi hasn't even started drawing your model. I reached out a couple times. She doesn't seem to really care. So instead, I'll draw it and rig it. The rigger would cut all contact with Gomi, but Gomi would then go ahead and continue hosting raffles anyway. That is crazy. Like, how shameless can you get? We would then see Gomi's commission queue for VGen. This is her queue for paid commissions, right? I pay her money, she puts it in her queue, and this is where I can see the progress. There are commissions that have been there since October 2023 that she hasn't even begun to work on. Oh my god, this just keeps getting worse. The next section would have yet another unsatisfied customer paying over $1,000 just to get this VTuber model in 3 different outfits.
That's some weird fucking
On
legs.
the 3rd outfit, the client asked for thigh-high socks, and this is what they got. Some sort of a weird gradient. As if the model had, like, put her feet in some very hot water in a cartoon or something. It looks weird. And
like, bro, wait, what the fuck, wait. Yeah, they're not drawn, but like, yeah, sure, like, mine are like weird, not weird too, but like, they're like, oh. Yeah, that's weird.
asked for thigh-high socks, and this is what they got. Some sort of a weird gradient. As if the model had, like, put her feet in some very hot water in a cartoon or something. It looks weird. And finally, just as you've been telling yourself, no,
Yeah, for
it
sure.
can't get worse, right?
And
She
by
can't
the
get
way,
more shameless than this.
I don't want to say anything, but like, how much this one costed?
Just to get this VTuber model.
Over $1,000. Oh my fucking god. No, that's definitely cooked. But you see this too? Like this one? This one? Like, I can see it briefly. It's kind of bad quality, but I can see that there's like some shading here on the knees. But like, here's just like, it's so fucking
in 3
weird.
different outfits. On the third outfit, the client asked for thigh-high socks, and this is what they got: some sort of a weird gradient. As if
I
the
feel
model had,
sorry
like,
for this
put her feet
person.
in some very hot water in a cartoon or something. It looks weird. And finally, just as you've been telling yourself, no, this can't get worse, right? She can't get more shameless than this. Well, the section's called Undelivered Models.
Uh-oh.
During October 2024, Gami launched a project under their studio called Fawn Studio. How many studios did she make, man? This is
Yeah.
a studio that makes VTuber models and Gami's the artist. The project was called Fruit Gals, and it was an audition-based
Gals,
VTuber model giveaway
fruity,
with some
freaky
rules.
fruits.
So look, this was structured in a way
Freaky
to
Fruits
resemble
is a good
VTuber
name.
agencies where
I
you
like this.
audition, and if you're accepted, you get a VTuber model. You wouldn't get a salary, but you'd keep all your donations, and you'd be part of a group. But if you decide to leave, you obviously can't keep the model. It's owned by the studio. One of the girls that auditioned and got accepted would reach out to Ruru and would talk about how she and the other girls were completely and entirely misled. So essentially, Gami would be posting these updates, right, of these different models that she was drawing up, and they were very excited. But then at some point, the updates would just stop, and Gami would stop communicating consistently, leaving all the members in the dark for months. Here we can see one of the girls deciding to reach out to raise her concerns on behalf of everyone else in the group, saying, "Hey Gami, I'm sending this message on behalf of me and the girls, and I would like to say that we are all tired of unresponsiveness, lack of communication, broken promises, and lack of care." It was actually a very considerate message, with this person even saying, "I hope what you take out of this will be, don't bite off more than you can chew." It genuinely came from a good place, but more importantly, one thing she would say is, "We'd have understood if the models had taken a month to finish, but it has now been 8 months. The document would specify the reason why they're saying we would have understood if the models had taken a month to finish, but it has now been 8 months, is because Fawn Studio had posted that they can finish and deliver models in around a week."
Oh.
That is insane, by the way. Okay, if you want a custom drawn model
Oh,
that is
okay.
rigged and ready to go,
Yeah, no.
you need months, man.
No, no fucking model will be done in a week. No, none.
There's no one in the world that can do this in a week. After this message, both Gami and the rigger involved with the studio would respond. They would both somewhat say the same thing, so let's just read what Gami had to say.
If the artist could log in, they could. Oh shit. Maybe they could do it in like couple days, but still like cutting the model into small pieces for rigging, because when you rig in VTube Studio, you have to cut everything, because every part has to move on their own. But also when you rig, some places will like overlap each other, like how to say it? Like, you see how like I move my hair, right, and the hair strands are like on boobs, right? So you have to like fill the like underneath. There's a lot of work for this, and then rigging all of this, like you have to move everything individually. So there's no fucking way. If it has to be like good quality to do it in a week.
On my end, I'm very overworked and I do my best on keeping up with everything. Art is my only income, so I have to keep working most of the time. That being said, I have finished 3 of the models and already have sent them over to blank, which is the rigger. I'm not blaming her in this, since she also has her own commissions that she has to work on. Please do keep in mind that Fruit Gals is a passion project on my end. I do not gain anything from making you models. I understand you, I really do, but I'm booked until September and I'm drawing constantly. For the last model also, I have started drawing her. I don't usually have the time to just sit down for days and work only on one thing, since I have commissions that hit me constantly. I was hoping to finish her later this month since I'm done with my year for school. Nobody.
Okay, if you're so popular, just raise the prices and don't take as much commissions, bro. Like, it's generally not that hard.
Lied about anything. I told you guys from the start that I would do my best, and I'm doing so. I still am sorry that you guys felt not cared for. I never wanted this. All I wanted was to be able to help you guys grow and make content the way you guys wish to make. The document would then say, but after this, again, there were no updates. A couple months later, on August 1st, 2025, we'd see 2 messages from both girls separately saying, "Hey, I'm out. Okay, this is clearly not happening. I don't want to do this anymore." And Gami wouldn't even bother replying. So look, by now, this wasn't just about AI anymore. This was about Gami being a bad person to work with, very badly treating some of her clients, and having this habit of empty promises, of doing these giveaways that she never honored. At this point, she was officially a compulsive liar in the eyes of the community. There was nothing she could say that would make anyone believe her. This is when her viral post saying that maybe I make ugly drawings, but at least I don't use AI would get community noted. And the community note would just straight up say, Gami uses AI for her drawing.
I wonder if this like thing is also AI. Like this thing is also AI. If it is, it's crazy. That's disaster.
Like just straight up, no bullshit. She uses AI. Shut the fuck up. Linking Ruru's initial Twitter post and the first Google document we went through, obliterating her reputation.
Wait, I thought this post has 67k likes. That's 57. It's cooked. Also, like, just bro. By the way, it's off topic, but today we did Kayla CM, and like our best pull was 67%, but the game rounds up, so it was actually 6-8-1, but the game showed a 6-7%. Anyways, sorry.
Her career, her online presence in just one sentence. Very few community notes can compare to the savagery here. But of course, you might be wondering, what about Gami herself? Does she have a response? I mean, she clearly saw this. She got community noted very humiliatingly. What did she have to say? And how did it manage to make things worse somehow? Gami would post this on her Twitter on February 20th, 2026, one day after the second Google Doc had dropped, saying, I have done a speed paint to address the AI allegations. This was done completely live on Twitch with a full display screen showing my entire process. The link to the VOD is down below. I'm aware of the other things being said and everything will be addressed soon. There's a lot to go over and I want to make sure I address everything. This has been a lot to take in, so I thank you for your patience. The top reply here that almost ratioed her would say, no one is denying you can draw. You draw very well. The thing is, none of this is reflected on these. And it's scummy to say you are against AI when admitting to have been making drawings very heavily AI referenced. Just say in your profile you use AI as part of your process. Additionally, even during her stream, it would be clear that she was using AI references to draw the thighs. You can see this right here. This was on her own monitor. It didn't help. If anything, it only made things worse. Facing even more backlash after that disastrous stream, Gami would quote tweet the second document that Ruru had written and would say, sorry for the wait, linking her own Google Doc. This would be one of the shortest Google Docs I have seen in my life. It could have...
I'm sorry, Lo, for taking this long to address all of this. I had some time to myself and had to calm down before I made a statement on the battery hands. I would like to start by apologizing to all my clients that felt wronged by me using AI as reference for their artwork. I'll be transparent in my art process going forward and have clear communication with my clients to make sure they're satisfied with the commissions they will be getting. If any of my current and ongoing commissions have paid for the commissions want their funds refunded, I'll be refunding your funds. Also, if any of my commissions want their progress recorded for full transparency, if it means they will feel more secure about their commission. Oh yeah, also posting them on YouTube, blah blah blah. This is not an excuse. I have been really busy with real life stuff at school and some of my works have been rushed because of this. I've been very... Okay, so you're not admitting that you use the AI. Okay, buddy.
Very easily been a tweet, but she would say, I'm sorry for taking this long to address all of this. I had some time to myself and had to calm down before I made a statement on the matter.
Yeah, this could be, especially because she has Twitter blue, so she can just post it in a tweet.
Statement on the matters at hand. I would like to start by apologizing to all my clients that feel wronged by me using AI as reference for their artworks. I'll be transparent in my art processes going forward and have clear communication with my clients to make sure they're satisfied with the commissions they will be getting. If any of my current ongoing commissions that have paid for their commissions want their funds refunded, I'll be refunding your funds. Also, if any of my commissioners want their progress recorded for full transparency, if it means they will feel more secure about their commission, that's where the sentence ends. That's literally where the sentence ends. Like there's literally a fucking period at the end. Okay. Well, English is not her transparency. If
Wait, what?
Processes going forward and have clear communication with my clients to make sure they're satisfied with the commissions they will be getting. If any of my current ongoing commissions that have paid for their commissions want their funds refunded, I'll be refunding your funds. Also, if any of my commissioners want their progress recorded for full transparency, if it means they will feel more secure about their commission, that's where the sentence ends. That's literally where the sentence ends.
That's why it sounded weird to me.
Period at the end. Okay, well, English is not her first language, but hey, at least we can be sure she didn't use ChatGPT, okay? She actually wrote this herself. She would then say in parentheses,
that's nice.
I will also be posting them on YouTube as an unlisted playlist, so there will be a record of all the work I will be doing. This is not an excuse. I've been really busy with real life stuff in school, and some of my work has been rushed because of this. I've been very irresponsible with my scheduling and will be getting help on my scheduling moving forward. I'm also thankful for people who have patiently waited for their commissions. I'm sorry it took as long as it did for me to get them done. I'm sorry for disappointing everyone, and I promise to do better moving forward. So look, not only was this response grammatically a disaster, it was a disaster in and of itself. It didn't address anything. It was very vague, and I mean, you don't have to listen to me say this. Ruru said it themselves, replying to her post, ratioing her, and saying, "You didn't address the raffle winner or the past clients who purchased AI-assisted work without knowing. If rebuilding trust is the goal, taking full accountability is the first step to do that. I believe those situations should be acknowledged and refunded properly as well." That's a very good point. What about the raffle winners? What about the people that you gave empty promises to? What's ironic here is that she wasn't quote tweeting the first document, she was quote tweeting the other document that talks about her terrible communication with clients, with the raffle winners. I mean, honestly, at this point, deleting your account would have been better than putting this Google Doc out to the public. Like, what the hell is this? 100,000 views and barely any interaction. People were done with this. They had already made up their minds. The proof was there, and there was nothing she could do except take accountability, and she failed to do even that. On the original quote tweet that Ruru had made, with the initial document exposing Gomi, you'd see many people in the replies pretty much disowning her, right? They might have come across her fan art, they might have liked it before, they might have interacted with her, but now this was over. This is not someone they wanted anything to do with. After this whole debacle, Gomi would continue posting on her Twitter. And yes, it does seem like she's not using AI. It does seem like it was, drawn actually by her, but the trust is lost. No accountability means
it's
no
late.
It's going to be
Bro,
very hard
if it was me, I'll just start from new account.
for her to
It's
build
okay,
back
bro.
up what she already had. This is especially considering that her VGen got suspended. She can't take commissions anymore, and she's essentially lost the fan base that she had taken years to build. Look, I can't predict the future. I don't know where we'll be years from now, and I don't know whether there will be a day where society will actually accept AI as a whole. However, if you want to use AI as reference, or hell, as very heavy inspiration to your art, at least specify that. At least be honest about that. If someone's willing to pay for that, then hey, good on them. It's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. But don't pretend to be someone you're not, because that's just what a scammer does. And you don't want to be labeled as a scammer, because if you are, you end up like Gomi. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you want to see actual amazing art that is not AI assisted in any way, featuring my character, as well as exclusive videos posted every month, then make sure to check out my Stacked page. Link in the description and the pinned comment. Prices start at $1. I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. And I love you so much. Platonically. Take care.
Platonically. Ew, imagine being an AI using Loser. Anyway, here's a prompt to generate a big booty figure, okay?